All right, I think we're coming back. Had to lower my bit rate, so hopefully folks can see this. We should be live on all platforms again. Um, Let me go over here. Do me a favor. I lowered the bit rate. Sometimes when I do that, it comes across like a scrambled channel. So if you can't see this, send me a Facebook message to my regular page and say, hey, can't see you or whatever. If you can, just leave it the way it is. I think we're okay. I have line of sight internet here at the home office, and it's fine, except at 8 to 9 o'clock, everybody gets on the computers and it bogs down the network. So let's go over this again. I'm guessing we've got 586 on. Wow, meteorologist Jamie Singleton. I appreciate that. The confirmed tornado is just to the south of Danville, and I don't have anybody telling me they can't see or hear this, so I'll take that as a good sign. But just north of Yanceyville here, we've got a tornado warning remaining in effect until 8:45 for northern Caswell County. Moving east at 30 miles per hour, a tornado in ping pong ball-sized hail possible here. Yanceyville, Providence, Gatewood, Quick, Blanche, and Hamer. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room. You have to pull over and get to a ditch in a case like this. That's near Providence, and I tell you what, Danville, you're getting the top of this storm. It's coming very close to 58, and there may be a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning issued in the not so distant future. One thing we've been doing on the stream, and one thing that I want you to be able to do, is share this out, because what I try to do is respect the National Weather Service polygons enough to only show you where they are. However, we have to prepare for the storm's movement. So what I'm saying is this is moving off to the east-northeast. I would tell folks in southern Pittsylvania County and southern Halifax County around Alton, Boyd Store, Cunningham, Barksdale, Paces, to be on the lookout for this tornadic cell. This has produced a tornado. We just don't know what the extent of the damage is, but it did have the markings of a tornado with it as it moved across parts of Rockingham County around the Village Oaks area, and it still has some very high reflectivity with it as well. Let me take down some of the radars that I no longer need. That'll help me a little bit here. And let me put you on this radar screen. Sometimes it's a little easier to look at different things. Let me switch you back over here. This is getting into the Raleigh-Durham area of responsibility, but I believe this still covers Blacksburg. Yeah, this is still a Blacksburg County. So they've got that still remaining in effect. Let's see what they've got here. Numerous trees down in Wilkes County, keeping the fire departments busy in North Carolina. We've got pea-sized hail near Hollins. And we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for Pittsylvania County. So this is why I was telling you, I'm getting it. There it is. I get it just a little bit before you can see it. But that's for this cell here that's producing the confirmed tornado. So now we need to look at eastern Pennsylvania County, Elmo, and even South Boston, Cluster Springs. This is a confirmed tornado. It still has the rotation with it. Very tight rotation. You see it right there. So let me draw it out for you. This is wind blowing very strongly away from the radar, which is in Floyd County in this direction. This is green that's coming toward the radar, and I can even show you the storm relative rotation, which is the movement of the storm gets taken out of the equation. So we just look at and look how fast it's moving. We just look at the circulation within that thunderstorm. Danville, I think you just got very lucky, but if you live on the outskirts of Danville, you need to be on alert that there could be debris falling from the sky, even if you're away from this tornado, because it's just that strong of an indication. And now this is going to be moving more toward the north and to the east at a pretty strong clip here. Let me get the particulars of this severe thunderstorm warning up here. National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado. They don't have tornado possible. That's surprising. For Caswell County, Pittsylvania County, Halifax County. Folks, listen to me. You're under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock. There is a tornado possible with this cell. All right? Do not take this lightly. Until 9:30. At 8:30, a severe thunderstorm was located over Blanche or near Providence, moving to the east at 30. 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar-sized hail are possible. You're going to get hail damage to vehicles at the very least, wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Falling trees can be a killer. Turville, Milton, Elmo, Alton, and Ringgold are in the path of this potential severe thunderstorm with a tornado embedded within it. It could be rain wrapped. It could be very hard to see. And we just remind you that this whole area had a confirmed tornado and still has a confirmed tornado with it to the south of Danville. And as it continues to storm outside my studio in Franklin County, you're going to hear some thunder. But this one concerns me because I'm not sure we can eliminate the tornadic threat with this. You can see how it moved just to the south of Danville. And then the National Weather Service puts up this new warning here for severe thunderstorm warning. What they may do is issue another tornado warning within this severe thunderstorm warning. So, around 58 here in south, you may get a tornado warning inside of a severe thunderstorm warning. If I look at my debris that the radar can sometimes see, getting some, let me see, this could be one or the other. This could be debris, or it could be simply, I think that's hail that's making the radar think it's debris. Got a bit of a hail spike here. So this thing's putting down some hail. If you didn't know that, you would think that could be debris if you looked at the correlation coefficient. And what happens sometimes is the beam comes out of the radar, it hits the hail, the beam gets refracted like hitting a mirror, and it points down to the ground, and it puts these false echoes basically up. And that's why it's so hard to tell if this is actually a well-developed tornado or not, or whether or not it should just be a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible mentioned. I do tell you that because if you zoom out, and let me show you just the regular radar here and show you the dilemma that the National Weather Service and folks like me are in right now. The Floyd County radar is right here. The Raleigh radar is way down here. This area is right in between the two. So there's no good radar I can go to that's going to sample the lower part of that storm because the earth curves underneath the beam. Does that make sense? However, we can see that there is a bit of a hook. We are looking at 5,000 feet up. So there's no telling what's going on beyond the 5,000 feet. Did I just say a second ago you would see an additional tornado warning issued? There it is. This one's a regular one, not to take away from the confirmed one that we had earlier, but this is a brand new one that's in effect for Milton. This is for southern Pennsylvania County. This is the confirmed tornado that we had not too long ago. It's for northeastern Caswell County and north central North Carolina. It is for southeastern Pennsylvania County and south central Virginia. This is one of our Virginia tornado warnings now officially. It's for southwestern Halifax County and south central Virginia until 9 o'clock. The storm was producing a tornado or possible tornado over Blanche or near Providence, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. It is hauling. And it's that's why I want to get folks in southern Halifax County a heads up. Even though you are not in the polygon, Cluster Springs, South Boston, down to Virgilina, you would be next if this holds together, okay? Tornado and ping pong ball sized hail, that's up to about an inch. Milton, Samora, and Blanche need to take cover now. Move to a basement. We say this a lot, but it's worth repeating and it's worth sharing. If you know folks, Halifax, South Boston, Virgilina, Elmo, and Milton, go ahead and share this out to them. Send them a text. Again, studies have been done where they interview survivors of these tornadoes and they say, where did you find out? Some people say weather radio. Some people say my cell phone told me. Other people say I got a text or somebody shared a Facebook post to me, to my timeline, or sent it through Messenger. That's the only way I knew a tornado was coming. So we tell people to have 3, 4, 5 redundant ways, whether it's weather radio or TV, commercial TV radio. In situations like this, we don't care if you watch somebody else. We just want you to be safe. And that's the only way to be safe, is to be in the know. And the more information you can get, the better. I know it can be very confusing. So what you're looking at is the confirmed tornado warning that is about to get dropped for Caswell County. That's where we probably had some damage somewhere around Ruffin, north of Yanceyville. Going into Milton now, we've still got enough rotation that we've got the tornado warning in effect. And now we've got the severe thunderstorm warning that's kind of a blanketing of the rest of the storm. That means that we could still be seeing some damaging winds of straight line variety around this, along with some large hail. And if we look at the hail, you can see that there is a little bit of hail showing up there right on the border of those two polygons, or 3 of them if you want to say that. But there's a lot of spin still going on. These are at the mid levels of the storm. We've got some more. It looks like, let's see, our radar's here. So this is convergence. That's what we're actually seeing. This is blowing toward the radar, and this is blowing away from the radar. But if we see this in Alta Vista, north of Gretna, this has some hail, it looks like, with it. Just a little bit there. Maybe a little bit more than a little bit here. It's by the time the radar lag gets to where you are. But there's definitely some straight line of wind here that I'm watching in Pittsylvania County near Alta Vista and Gretna on 29. I'm picking up wind at the radar level of about 48 to 50 miles per hour blowing out from the radar here. So Alta Vista, Gretna, you're getting hit very hard. And there's actually, like I mentioned, there's a little bit of a notch here, and I don't like the look of that. That's Gretna to Alta Vista under a severe thunderstorm warning that continues. And they do have tornado possible listed here from the National Weather Service. So this is one that they're watching for a possible tornado warning. Smith Mountain Lake will be on the left side of your screen. Alta Vista here, there's the Stanton River. Alta Vista, Hurt, Gretna, Evington, Mount Airy, Hodges, and Leesville Lake in the path of this potential upcoming tornado warning. I'm trying to give you an advance heads up that this storm here indeed is showing signs of strengthening rotation. It's not overly strong at the moment, but given the circumstances of today, this whole area is going to be moving off to the east-northeast and could be affecting areas of Campbell County from Rustburg into northern Halifax County. That's not to be confused with the other tornado warning that's in effect just to the south. And I mean, talk about a close call with Danville, just to the southeast of Danville, and the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Halifax County. I'm going to keep a very close eye on that. I also see something of an interesting signature south of Ferrum in Franklin County. It doesn't look like it's rotating too much just yet, but it could be the beginnings of some rotation. There's some concentrated liquid up in the cloud, which sometimes is an indicator. You see how we're getting some red showing up there. Those are big fat raindrops. As I go up high in the sky, notice how they are still present even as we go up to 5,000 or 6,000 feet up in the sky. And the more I go up, and you still see that red, like right there. This is southern Franklin County. We are at 12,000 feet. And look at that. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning. And I can bet you they were looking at the same thing as I was just now. This is the advantage of watching the stream. And this is why I want you to share it out. We're able to kind of show you a little bit, give you a little heads up here. Now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for eastern Franklin County. And again, this is not to be confused with the one you had earlier, but it's this area right here that stood out to me because that's a very powerful updraft. That's where the air is sending these big fat raindrops, very flat, very thick raindrops way up into the air at 12,000 feet. That's a strong updraft. So if that thing begins to rotate, we are going to have some problems. And we're in an environment where rotation is favored today. That's why the tornado watch is in effect until 10 o'clock. Thought the Storm Prediction Center did an excellent job of highlighting that. Let me read to you this severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin County now. And this was located over Ferrum, moving northeast at 30, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, Rocky Mount, Sidnersville, Ferrum, Pinhook, Burnt Chimney, northwest Smith Mountain Lake, and West Lake Corner, should this continue that path up to the east-northeast. It says it's moving northeast at 30. That looks about right. We've also got the tornado watch, again, that remains in effect. Prepare for hail and damaging winds, but keep in mind, tornadoes can and will and already have developed today without severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings. Sometimes they can do it on their own. Let's take a quick look at the velocity data for southern Franklin County. Don't see a lot from that. I see some convergence, and I see some potential spin trying to get its act together, but I definitely see a strong updraft. That's a very strong updraft, and the way I can show that to you is this. Now this is southern Franklin County. We're going to do the weird thing where we look at it in 3 dimensions again. Okay, so you're looking at the ground. Let's start off in 2D. So there's Rocky Mount, there's Martinsville. Okay, now I'm going to put on the differential reflectivity. That's going to show me where those fat raindrops are versus the skinny ice crystals. I'm going to tilt the image. And notice the freezing level is about right here. So those should be ice crystals that you're seeing. They should be the light blues that you're seeing here that are ice crystals. I wouldn't worry too much about that very top part. But this part right here is the very strong updraft that is being read at about 15,000 feet. These are super cooled, big, fat raindrops that are being placed into this thunderstorm updraft. And we're already in an environment where we've got wind that is coming in out of the southeast, down here on the ground. We've got wind aloft that's coming in out of the southwest up here. And so what you end up with is when you encounter that updraft with the downdraft and the shearing of the winds, is you get the spin that can sometimes produce a tornado. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but it could soon be a tornado warning. In fact, I'm going to look at correlation coefficient, and I do see possibility of that's either hail or that's debris down near the center. That could be debris from either straight line winds or a possible tornado there in southern Franklin County. You may see very shortly here a tornado warning being issued for southern Franklin County if that continues to look as impressive as it does to me. Though the velocity data is a little bit hard to really pick out. But there's something going on with that storm in southern Franklin County. I do not like the look of it at all. So let me get you back to like a normal mode. So we're looking at this cell that's, whoops, go back to my arrow here. We're looking at this cell south of Rocky Mount in the 220. Sorry, TikTokers. Let me get you back over. We've got a new special weather statement in effect for Floyd County. And believe it or not, this one has some rotation too. Patrick County near the Parkway tends to enhance. The Parkway tends to enhance low-level spin. And I'm seeing a little bit of that in this radar signature with this shower here. If you go to the storm relative velocity, or just the base velocity, let's go back to storm relative. You can see on our spectrum width, the yellows here near Vesta, and see, what is that? Is that the Parkway? No, that's going to be 58 as you head up to Lover's Leap. I got you. Coming out of Stewart. All right, so that's Woolwine there. Brighter colors here are showing us where the winds are changing speed and they're being more turbulent within that radar beam. So one radar beam actually covers a pretty good area. You can see the satellite up underneath this. The radar sees that, and it's pointing out the light gray areas that we really don't have to worry about. They're not moving around all that much. These areas here that you're seeing there, where the Patrick County locator is being shown, where it says Patrick there, in the yellow areas, that's where the wind is doing a lot of turbulent things. And that can sometimes be lined up with rotation to point out possible development of that. And it's probably why the special weather statement went into effect for this area. It also looks like it's indicating that little triangle there usually indicates some hail potential near Vesta, and that's moving up to the north and to the east as well. So watch it around Ferrum and Woolwine, down around Philpott Lake as well. That's an intensifying storm, it appears. And this one around Rocky Mount too is also intensifying. Let's zoom it out, show you that now we've got, let's go back to the surface. Now we've got severe thunderstorm warnings that include Rockbridge, Buena Vista, Nelson County, all locations east of the Blue Ridge just about still in a severe threat. And we will make it simple. And I'm going to do it this way. Probably not the safest thing to do, but I want to kind of give folks an overview because a lot of folks want to know about their area. I would say from here west, you are probably okay. It's in this area in pink where we still have the potential for tornadoes. And now more than ever, getting into this part of the night, they're starting to spin up pretty fast. And so that's why we've got the one tornado warning out for southwest Pittsylvania County and southeast Halifax County. We've also got rotation in a lot of these cells. I'm going to pop up the storm relative velocities here. And from time to time, I might reset these. I see convergence. This is the radar. That's why you see that big dome there. So these are not north-south oriented. This red and green is more of a gust front than anything else. So this may be just straight line winds that are occurring here on the order of 30 to 45 miles per hour. That still can do some damage. But it could also spin into a tornado as well, given all the shear. We've got a shaved back severe thunderstorm warning with tornado being possible in Alta Vista. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning, a big one that covers Lynchburg, Amherst County, down to Forest and going into Rockbridge and Buena Vista. That's basically like a carpet bomb kind of thing where they're just covering everything up there just in case something happens. But the one in northern Pittsylvania County does concern me because this one does have, near Alta Vista, it does have indications of that green starting to form above some higher levels of red here. So this is going toward the radar. This is going away from the radar. That wasn't the best color to choose. But if you've got rotation, you've got it right there. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is issued for the possibility of a tornado developing right in this area here. And that would be headed off to the east, north of Brookneal and south of Gladys. This area here may be impacted by what could be a developing circulation or a mesocyclone, as we call it in meteorology. You can see it even more here. Let me get rid of my markings. You can see how the reds and the greens are coming together. So no tornado yet, but they are continuing it and calling it tornado possible for Alta Vista. So be on the lookout for a possible tornado just to the south of Alta Vista, and maybe getting into northern Halifax County and southern Campbell County near the Rustburg, Brooknell area. You've got a temperature of 68 and a dew point of 67. It's very moist and unstable air. Now, as I say that, I'm getting hit with one of these storms, so stand by. All right, reading the National Weather Service chat, the National Weather Service out of Raleigh, their radar is picking up some of these storms a bit better. We mentioned how underneath it's hard to see near the surface, so I was prepared for that. I've got the Raleigh-Durham radar up here, and so it's not going to do that good of a job of getting the storm that's hitting my house. That's where I'm at right now. But it is going to do a better job perhaps at seeing this storm. And so let me make sure. I'm going to go back in time, and I'm going to place a marker there, and we're going to put it here. The program will figure out the storm motion from the marker. So this is from the Raleigh radar now, which is down here. So we're still looking at about, let's see, 3,900 feet versus 5,500 feet. So we're about 2,000 feet lower toward the ground and looking at this cell. And it doesn't look quite as circular as it did earlier. But on the southern edge where they've put a special weather statement out, now the southern flank of that does. So we'll put a marker here, and I know it's hard to see, but that's northern Person County in North Carolina. They've got a special weather statement out for winds up to 50 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. There may be a warning coming for northern Person County, but around South Boston and Virgilina, you should be on guard for this. It has a history of being a dangerous storm. Our base velocity shows the reds right there where I put it, and the greens showing the rotation here south of the Virginia state line. So if it continues on that path, it could hit Virgilina if it holds together. You know, sometimes these things do cycle. South Boston, you have a temperature of 67, dew point of 66, very unstable air. In calm winds, these tornadoes can spring up in a real big hurry. To mention, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with the tag of tornado warning or tornado possible with it. They're saying tornado possible. And again, you kind of have to look for these, but they do put it in here if you're a weather aficionado. So that's the polygon, that's what they've put in there. 60 mile per hour winds, 1 inch hail, and the possibility of a tornado with that cell. Let's go back up here. Just to read you a few storm reports too. We've had some large hail reported from Roanoke, or at least significant hail of quarter size or greater. You can also see the rotation even from the Raleigh radar in northern Pittsylvania County. Now this is looking farther aloft in the storm, but you can't miss that rotation there just to the northeast of Gretna. There's also some subtle rotation south of Rocky Mount with this storm, which makes me want to pull up my velocity graphic here, and we're going to look at high-res velocity or high-res reflectivity. We'll go to scene 2 so you can see the whole screen. So you can see how this activity down here across the mountains, that's more stable, but the activity going through Rocky Mount right now is about to hit Redwood pretty hard. Glade Hill, Henry Fort's getting it really hard right now. Hopkins Mill in the path of this. Burnt Chimney is as well. Now I know you've got a separate cell near Crossroads and Crafts Point and Smith's Paradise, Union Hall and Pelican Point, Arrowhead and the waterfront, Westlake, but you've got an even stronger cell that just got out of the Henry Fort dead run area of Franklin County. And we can show you the velocity with that. And you can see it's pretty much linear. We've got kind of a straight line here, but we've got a few kinks, darker areas that we need to watch for just in case something spins up with this one. You may have some wind-blown rain and or small tree limbs, things of that nature, that may be causing some damage there. I don't see much on the spectrum width, so that's good news. Storm relative velocity is not going to be as pretty on this exact screen, but it still shows us where there's possible rotation. And still watching east of Bedford 2 here for the possibility of some kind of spin going on. I can tell you from the storm in Rocky Mount, the one I'm feeling right here, yeah, that's some very heavy rain falling. Right here is where I'm broadcasting from. So you're going to have some flooded out ditches and roads. It's going to be very hard to drive in, and if a tornado should develop, it would be impossible to see. It reminds me of the April tornado that hit down in Sidnersville. That area was impossible to see. It was kind of rain wrapped, and folks drove right into it because they didn't know it was there. Now there's no tornado warning here just yet, and there may not be, but the environment does favor the potential for a tornado. That's why a tornado watch is in effect for the area listed there. Looking at Level Run, this is Alta Vista now as we move towards Seneca and Cedar Forest. We've got some very broad rotation. It's behaving itself a little bit, but we still do have some lightning showing up there. And I believe I have a weather cat stuck in the rain. Hold on one second. Come in, you kiddo. Meteorologist and cat dad first. Hold on one second. Yep, that was not the weather cat. She did not take my advice, and she decided to go out right before the storm. And now she's soaked, and she's meowing, but she's okay. You alright, Dot? You hear? That is not the weather cat. Remember your pets during storms like this. Is it rough? You cold? Yeah. You want to say anything? Tell people to be careful tonight? I think she's just happy to be inside. Okay. Makes a weather cat dad nervous when I hear her crying. Don't know where she's at. Okay. Still looking at northern Pennsylvania County going into, let's see, that would be Appomattox into Charlotte Courthouse. Watching that around Gladys as well. The potential for this rotation has me a bit concerned. Let's look at this Franklin County storm. Still some straight line winds headed toward Glade Hill and Redwood here. We are also looking at severe weather into Bedford, into Lynchburg as well. I don't see much in the way of rotation, but that's also getting pretty far away from the radar, unfortunately. Severe thunderstorm warning and now a tornado warning. That's in effect for Stewart's Draft. That's up near I-64 and I-81. So we mentioned it wouldn't matter really on the map where these storms develop because the entire area is under a tornado watch, and there's high wind shear, and there's the possibility of tornadoes there. So let me go to my other program here and I want to show you the tornado warning. And I hope I can do this without crashing my network this time. Okay, it's working much better now. Let's see if I can shrink this down. Here we go. So we're going to zoom in, and you can see where the tornado watch stops. It stops at Harrisonburg, but it does include Charlottesville. So we have a tornado warning in effect south of Stanton, south of I-64, but it does include the area south of Stanton into Augusta County, and not right over the line of Rockbridge County. So this one's issued by the National Weather Service in Sterling, and it's for another 12 minutes, and that tornado warning was issued. I can read you the text of that. As you see the polygon on your screen, I made a point of not putting the radar on these so you can just see where the warnings are. I would watch out in Waynesboro, Virginia. This was issued at 8:59, so this was an update that they put out just 3 minutes ago. Tornado warning for south central Augusta County until 9:15 for another 12 minutes or so. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles west of Stewart's Draft or 11 miles southwest of Stanton, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hazard being, of course, the tornado. For all those in the path, Stewart's Draft and Sharonda about 9:15. Take cover right now. That's a radar indicated tornado. I'm going south because I see a new tornado warning that's in effect for our area that includes Amherst County now and southern Nelson County. That's in effect for another 26 minutes. This has just been issued here at 9:02. Right as I was reading that, we now have a tornado warning in effect, and we told you that storm did have some rotation with it. It's in effect for southern Nelson County and south central Albemarle County. So it does not include Amherst County, my bad. This is issued from the Sterling Weather Service office. But folks, do watch me in Arrington and in this area of, let's see, southern Nelson County. Until 9:30, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Clifford, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So this is going to impact Shipman and Schuler between 9:25 and 9:30. Other locations impacted by the tornadic thunderstorm in southern Nelson County include Livingston, Ty River area, Elma, Arrington, as I mentioned there, Buffalo Springs, Scottsville, and Esmont. That's a tornado warning for hail, maybe up to about an inch. And remember that this storm is probably producing enough rotation for the National Weather Service to pull the trigger from the not Blacksburg area. These warnings are being issued from Sterling. Now let's go back and we can see all the lightning with these heavy cells. The one cell moving through Franklin County. There's a lot of lightning in Danville, just north of there. Some fair amount of lightning and a special weather statement for Patrick County. And that dangerous storm there moving into Campbell County. The rest of Evington there going into northern Charlotte County. But we've got a tornado warning that's also in effect now for southern Halifax County. And I told you to be on alert for that because I thought that might happen. This goes for another 24 minutes. This is a tornado warning that includes 58 areas right up to South Boston and 501. You are in this tornado warning, and this is a tornado that's had, or at least some rotational tracks in this. It's also had a potential of dropping some very, very large hail. And you can get an idea here as you head out to Clarksville, Scottsburg, Halifax. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning for another 54 minutes. But within that, we do have the tornado warning that's in effect right along 501. Now let's go to our more precise radar, and we can pop that up here. I'm going to pop it up from Raleigh-Durham. It does indicate that, wow, you step away for a second. Let me get the right monitor up here for you. You step away for a second and things can change. That's why I'm staying on the air. Folks, please continue to share this out. We now have South Boston is under a tornado warning. South Boston, take cover now. Cluster Springs, these areas I just mentioned. The National Weather Service sees it at the same time I do. We're incommunicado, and the couplet has tightened again, and they're basing this off of Raleigh's radar. We are looking at Raleigh's radar. So Raleigh being down here, we're looking up at the storm because it's closer to the radar. We can see a little bit better into the storm. So to get your bearings here, this is South Boston. There's 501 heading down between Alton and Virgilina, and quite a bit of rotation continuing to increase now. You're seeing some blues there on your screen, the brighter oranges. That storm relative velocity. This is base velocity, which again is another way of looking at just the pure velocity from the storm. And we mentioned how the southern flank, we had that red dot right here. Well, now the red dot, we should place it right here. That's our marker. That's where we think there could be a tornado on the ground right now. Do we have debris showing up? Well, let's see. We're going to go first to our base velocity, our reflectivity that shows us just a plain old radar. And what I do see is I do see an inflow notch. So I see where the supercell is bringing in the air toward it, and I see the rear flank downdraft coming down just to the south of Alton. So yeah, if there is a tornado, it's between Cluster Springs in Halifax County, Virginia, and Alton. South Boston, you are on the north side of this, but there's some broad rotation up here that you may want to keep an eye out for, and certainly some damaging winds possible in that part of the storm as well. There's also some large hail being picked up on this. I'm going to look at the correlation coefficient. You can see that we're only able to sample up to about 3,600 feet, but there is a lowering of correlation coefficient values. They're not cranberry. They're not in a particular circle like you would see in a tornado warning very close to the radar, but they're kind of spread out. So it's hard to tell if this is a radar confirmed tornado or if it's a borderline, but it is a serious radar signature to be that far away. We can look at different things here. I'm going to look at echo tops. These are topping out at 40,000 feet in the atmosphere. We've got a fair amount of hail being reported here by the radar of over an inch. That makes sense on the in terms of when we study severe weather. I'm going to look at the updraft strength. So pardon me while I get a bit geeky. Going to see about freezing levels about 10,000. I'm at about 13,000 feet, and I still see these elevated levels here. So that's a very strong updraft that's showing up near the area of rotation. To get a tornado, you need two things. You need strong upward motion, and you need spin. And we've got them both in southern Halifax County. I would mention that that does include South Boston, and it does include Cluster Springs and Alton. The area of rotation has moved past Alton, though. I can show you now it's about right there if we were to put a marker on it. So that's southern Halifax County. You are under a tornado warning, and again, that is until 9:30. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes damaged or destroyed. Tree damage, significant structural damage is likely. Locations impacted include South Boston, Turbeville, Heightsburg, Cluster Springs, and Alton, and the John H. Kerr Reservoir. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room. Avoid windows. Get into a hallway. Put a mattress over you. This could be the real deal, folks, unfortunately. And there's another area of rotation that is starting to catch my eye near Halifax itself. This one is very broad, but it is showing up right through here. So south side, folks, share, share, share. How many people on your friends list live in Halifax County or in South Boston? It would take 2 seconds to share, and they may not be watching TV. The cell phones may not be alerting them, or even if they are alerting them, they may need to know where this is headed. Let me go a little bit closer in for you. We'll look at this on a different vantage point here from our our web app. And this is off of the Blacksburg radar, but again, it gives us a little more in the way of mapping to look at here. We've got some roads we can pop on. Let's see. Yeah, we got city labels there as well. So Alton, Denniston, Cluster Springs, here's South Boston here at the top of the screen, getting hit very hard. Another concentrated area near 360 and Piney Grove of probable rotation, at least on a broad sense. Omega, Hyco, Mayo, Rip Rap, Red Bank, and Aaron's Creek, Omega, in the path of this potential tornado. It's a tornado warning that's in effect until 9:30 p.m. It does include South Boston. That is a very dangerous storm. We've also got some dangerous storm activity around the Danville area through Henry County. Still some very heavy rain here. A severe thunderstorm warning continues for this cell that's approaching Union Hall. We may have some brief rotation with that as well. I can't rule that out. And I've seen some rotation too in southern Campbell County down 501 as you make your way toward Gladys, Brookneal, Seneca. There's been some rotation showing up in a broad sense on that radar imagery as well. And there you see at the top of the screen there the tornado warnings I was showing you from Sterling and Nelson County here. If you move your if I move myself here to Lovingston, Roseland, Ty River, Norwood, Howardsville, Schuler, Rockfish, Shipman, Elma, this area here on 29 coming out of Amherst, it's already not a good go of it here, but if you make your way in the Nelson County, southern Nelson County, you were in danger of a possible tornado. Okay, see if we updated this. Still got that thunderstorm damage earlier in West Virginia as well. Just looking at the overall intensity though, things have really still continued to ramp up, especially east of the Blue Ridge now. And so we've got the one tornado warning down across Halifax County. We've got these other tornado warnings that are in southern Nelson County. And then you've got severe thunderstorm warnings covering a good part of the area there as well. So here it is on the bigger picture. Just kind of widen out the view. And you can see the one tornado warning that remains in effect south of Stanton. You can see the other one that is in southern Nelson County, and then the one around Danville. Quite a bit of lightning with this one. And we can kind of track this. If I move myself in here, we've got a special weather statement still for Patrick County, watching that one too. You can see the hail tracks there on your screen. So I'm going to put a track on this thing. That would take it to Chase City and Boynton if it continued on its path. So there's a look at the potential. Let's see if I can move that. Yeah. Potential track of this tornado would give it about 10 to 15 minutes as it crosses into 58, Clarksville, and Chase City in the Mecklenburg County. Quite a bit of hail with this, quite a bit of rotation with it as well. And I've got another way of showing you. Let's see if I can just switch monitors real quick. Yes, this is my GR Earth I've got on my other monitor on my other computer. You were looking at the significant tornado parameter there in the blue and the yellow and the orange. You're also looking at 1 hour rotation. So look down here across Yanceyville where we had a lot of rotation. That's where we had the confirmed tornado warning as it moved out of the Rockingham County area. You see how the rotation got stronger? You can see as it approached Virginia around Milton, the rotation got weaker. And it doesn't hop like that. That's just because the radar scans are catching the rotational couplets there. And notice how it goes back up once it crosses back into Halifax County. The rotation increases. And that's why we now have this red polygon that now includes southern Halifax County. Again, I believe that's until, what was it, 9:30? I believe. You can see quite a bit of rotation there. And you can actually track that in time. You can also see with some of these other storms, I think I can put this into motion. It may take a second to load. You can watch how the storms and the polygons move east. The purple polygons are the confirmed tornadoes, and this is going to load the rotational tracks over the past hour as well. So if this is basically a 3-hour loop, and it will look back 3 to 4 hours at the rotation as it loads on your screen. And I want to just give you an idea of the movement of the most dangerous weather. A lot of people just like looking at loops. I think they're helpful. I'm going to let it load here so you can see how things evolve, because what this program will also do is it overlays the damage reports with the warnings and the rotation. You can visually see, as it continues to fill in here, you can visually see the rotational markers. You can see the hail reports coming in around an inch, inch and a half, 0.25. You can see the red polygons and even the purple polygons showing up there north of Greensboro down through here. So again, we'll ask you to watch this part of your screen. And you can see right there, that's our storm that's right now producing the tornado warning in southern Halifax County. You can see the one around Wytheville that moved out of far southwest Virginia. And if you wanted to argue, you could say that this actually skipped over the Roanoke Valley area and re-energized across southern Nelson County. That's what we call long-lived supercell activity, and we see that in situations like this. There's almost a bit, too, if you look at the wind reports, you can see the winds kind of coming in like this. Then they're out of the southwest here, out of the west here. So you could almost draw in a meso-low. That's kind of putting all of this together and creating that enhanced shear environment there. So I did want to show you that. It's kind of a neat way of capturing everything in your mind and stepping back. You know, I show a lot of close-up radar images. Sometimes it's better just to take a step back and see where we are in terms of what we have left. I'm going to post the remaining tornado watch that's up until 10 o'clock, and they will probably shave the western part of that back. It looks like they're going to let it go until 10. It's already 9:19. This is the water vapor imagery. Note the drier air coming in around this system. The upper level system, by the way, is still up here in West Virginia, so we're still going to have some showers even into tomorrow. But of course, our biggest concern right now is north of Virgilina, where we've got a lot of rotation to talk about. So we're going to get right back to our high-res radar out of Raleigh-Durham. This is the latest frame, and we've got a lot of gate-to-gate rotation. It's starting to become a little more misaligned, although I can't really make a decision one way or the other on this. It's a powerful storm. Go to the right monitor. There you see it. And again, this is, it's 58. This is 501. So it's east of 501 now. It's south of 58. But Virgilina, it's going to come close to you. If there's a tornado there, it's probably going to pass just to your north by about 3 or 4 miles. And then we'll worry about Chase City and Boynton as well. Not seeing any signature of debris. A little hard to tell. It's very noisy and it's pretty far away from the radar. But we do have a hook near Cluster Springs, a bit of a kind of a horseshoe type shape here. And what may be happening too is sometimes these things will cycle. Notice the hook is off to the west of where the rotation is. If I pop the rotation back up, you can see it's now there, and then the hook is back here. So there are 2 areas now that may be seeing rotation, or maybe even seeing the cycle a little bit. If I put the storm relative velocity up here, you can see another, near where we see that hook, you can see another little couplet or something kind of sticking out there on 501. So I don't know if this storm is done with Halifax County just yet. South Boston, the east side of South Boston is still in the tornado warning. Scottsburg and Halifax and the rest of Halifax County up to about Crystal Hill is still under the severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect until 10 p.m. Halifax, Turbeville, Scottsburg, and Cluster Springs for anything that may spin up in this area. Looking off to the west, I do see still some rotation. This is looking from Raleigh, so I just went in super tight. Sorry about that. If we look aloft, and not even aloft, look at Chad on Pittsylvania County here in the mid-levels from the Raleigh radar. You see that? So there's some rotation to the north and east of Blair's. You do not have a warning out for you just yet. There may be one coming should that intensify. That also shows up that broad rotation that seems to be tightening some northeast of Blair's, south of Spring Garden. I would be on the lookout here in this area near Spring Garden, near Ingram. I would be on the lookout. Again, share away if you know, or text somebody in that area, Ingram, Spring Garden, eastern Pennsylvania County. You have a severe thunderstorm warning not too far away from you, but now a new area of rotation has developed in that area. And it's showing up as a pretty impressive cell here off of the Raleigh radar. And you can also see the continuation of the tornado warning there coming out of southern Halifax County. What we're going to do is switch back to the Blacksburg radar to check out this rotation that I'm worried about in Pennsylvania County. And it's right here north of Blair's. So you see how it is indicating some hail there for about a quarter sized. And as it continues to update there's something going on here too. So if you look at your updraft strength, you go up in the sky, pretty strong updraft. That red there kind of stands out. And we are at about 11,000 feet. So you may see a severe thunderstorm warning and or a tornado warning coming out soon for Pennsylvania County for this cell right here. I'm going to circle it for you. Let me go back out. Still got the severe weather too around Buckingham as well. And new thunderstorm activity developing north of Greensboro. That does catch my eye in one place. If I go back to storm relative velocity, unfortunately around Ruffin, you see another broad area of rotation here. It's like, what next? That sometimes happens. That's on the top edge of the storm, so I don't know if I'm that concerned about it or not, but certainly I'm concerned about this this storm. The actual cell is out of the warned area in Pennsylvania County. I think something needs to be issued here to the south. And there you see a new update. So let's see what the velocity looks like, and it's actually strengthened some. Got a little bit of a inflow notch here. We've got a lot of outbound of about 50 miles per hour. If you take that storm relative there, you can see the reds and the greens pretty close together. And again, the folks at the Weather Service may hold off and not pull the trigger on this, but it's definitely a strong updraft. It's got some broad rotation with it, so we should see a special weather statement issued soon for that cell. But to continue here, South Boston to Cluster Springs, Virgilina, you are under a tornado warning. That continues to look fairly impressive from the Blacksburg site. I'm going to keep the Blacksburg radar turned on for this Chatham storm. Just making sure I don't see anything else. Charlotte County, Pamplin, I've got some weak broad rotation, perhaps here in Charlotte Courthouse, watching that as well. Lots of hail reports coming in to the west of this. Let's go back to our Raleigh radar. And here we can see both areas of rotation clearly. The one there in Pittsylvania County has a little bit of a tail to it and appears to be organizing and trying to organize something. And then you've got the tornado warning that's in effect for South Boston down to Cluster Springs for the rotation that's being picked up now to the to the southeast of South Boston. So that gives you a little bit of relief. It should, because it's moving pretty fast now. Put the marker right there. So there's Scottsburg. If there is a tornado, more than likely it is right here now, just south of .58. So this is 360 up through Scottsburg. 360, you're good. But 58, as you make your way east of South Boston, closer in toward Mecklenburg County, things perhaps are turning more dangerous again as that maybe tries to cycle. And we've got, again, the broad rotation in this area here that's being picked up by the Raleigh radar. It doesn't appear to be organizing all that much, but there we have a new tornado warning. But still watch this area here. Let's look at our new tornado warning that's in effect. This one includes, this has been issued by the National Weather Service in Wakefield, so we may have to pull their radar up. Got a tornado warning for southwestern Mecklenburg County. This matches the one in Halifax County. So we'll put our marker right there, and we'll show you just the ordinary radar. You see a bit of a hook echo here. We also got a new tornado warning from Blacksburg, so we want to read both of them for you. This is the one for Wakefield, for Mecklenburg, so it's for this area here. Severe thunderstorm at 9:27 was capable of producing a tornado located near Heidelberg or 7 miles north of Virgilina, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hazard tornado and 1-inch hail. This dangerous storm will be near Buffalo Springs at about 9:40. So about 11 minutes from now, Buffalo Springs, you may be hit by this possible tornado. And just to show you, there is strong rotation being picked up now, right there. And that would be the path that it could take if it remains on its current course. So it could cross 58 here in the very near future. Now, to read you the statement out of Blacksburg, they've issued a tornado warning in tandem with the one for Mecklenburg County, because this happens to be where their borders begin to take over as far as their county warning area, meaning what areas are they responsible for. Blacksburg's will cut off right here, Wakefield's starts here, and then underneath that is where you have Raleigh's. So we're in a triple area where we really don't have great radar coverage for any of these storms, but we're using what we can. Given the environment, given what I'm seeing, that's a bit of a dangerous storm. So Blacksburg says at 9:26, this severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Heidelberg, 8 miles north of Virgilina, moving northeast at 40. So you get some differing information depending on who the radar operator is, who's looking at the radar and what office, but they are all talking to each other. Red Oak, Heidelberg, Stanton River State Park, Dryburgh, and the reservoir, Johnny Kerr Reservoir, there. Take cover now. Move to a basement interior room. Tornado is radar indicated. It's not confirmed. Just to remind you, though, we do have a tornado watch out for the rest of the area and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings out. As I said that, let's remove the storm track real quick. The National Weather Service did indeed add a new severe thunderstorm warning for the storm that you and I were watching. That includes the Volans area, and that's why, I encourage you to keep watching, because I'm going to point out storms that I think may go severe before they actually officially go severe, to the best of my abilities. You've got broad rotation here coming out of Pittsylvania County into western Halifax County, and that's crossing into Halifax County right now. So you can see it right there. This is in effect until 10:30. At 9:29, the severe storm was located over Java, near Ingram, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, Mount Airy, Ingram, Java, Cody, Leda, Straight Stone, and Chalk Level in the path of this. And remain alert for possible tornado. They have an exclamation points here. Strong wording from the National Weather Service because of the structures of the storms. They have gone into tornadic mode and they've cycled down to straight line winds and they've picked back up again. It's very vital that you remain on alert and treat any one of these yellow polygons as if it's red. Even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, it is a severe thunderstorm warning marked tornado possible. You see it right there. So that's the National Weather Service admitting that they could be wrong on this. This could very well have a tornado in it somewhere where the radar doesn't see because of the coverage being so spotty out in this area. Again, we're looking at this from Raleigh's radar, not the Blacksburg radar. In this particular case, the Raleigh radar is picking it up better. Now, interestingly enough, the Mecklenburg County tornado warning has been issued by the Wakefield office. Their radar is right here. So I'm going to have to open up another window. And we will pull up that information for you. Because it's always good to kind of triple check here with all the different radars to try to see what we can find. The first thing I need to do is set my storm motion vector. So I need to tell the radar how fast these storms are moving. So what I do is I'm going to put a marker here. I'm going to advance it. And I'm going to get a storm motion from that. Now what that just did is it enabled me to show you this. This is from Wakefield. And in some cases this is more, I don't know, it's easier to look at than it is the Raleigh radar and the Blacksburg radar. We are looking at about 9,000 feet up in the storm, and you can see again, this is relative to Wakefield, which is off to our east-northeast. So the radar is over here, and you've got circulation right here. So it's moving like this. That's why your tornado warnings include this area here. That's pretty strong signature for the mid-levels of a possible tornado. So wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some damage in that area, especially if you look at the correlation coefficient, which is supposed to pick up damage. That's more than likely hail that it's picking up, but there could be some debris in there as well. I do think we did see a tornado earlier around the Caswell, Rockingham County area. Got some reports in there, and of course Orange County as well. But big hail in some of these storms, and just to kind of give you an idea, there's our hail indicator showing you where we could see some large hail falling, and we can again extrapolate that a bit, and so you're looking at Chase City, Mecklenburg County, and getting close to the reservoir there. Very strong winds with this though. Seeing a lot of powerful wind going in opposite directions and very close to one another. Now, none of these radars are actually going to pick the tornado up, unfortunately. It's just not close enough to any direct radar signature. But we know that the warm front is right through here. See where I'm moving my mouse? That's where the spin is most enhanced, and that's where the atmosphere is most turbulent in terms of potential wind shear. We've got multiple trees and power lines down near Howardsville Turnpike back to the north in Augusta County, Virginia. That was near Howardsville Turnpike and China Clay Road. So we at least had some damage from that severe thunderstorm warning or possible tornado that happened up here just to the south of Stanton and Waynesboro. That's now moving into the Charlottesville area where a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. No longer a tornado warning at the moment, but there's still a chance it can cycle back and spin up once more. We'll do a little analyst here, and we'll go back to the Storm Prediction Center. This is the bigger picture for our local area. What I like to do for my folks watching is to let you know who is still in the line of fire and who is not. And it's a little bit hard to see, but let's see. I don't know if I want green or not. Let's just do white. Basically, south of Stanton, west of Rocky Mount, and kind of near the Blue Ridge and west, you are okay. Not to say you won't get some strong storms or heavier downpour tonight. It's to the east, this area, all the way up to Northern Virginia here, all the way down to the Carolinas, and later Hampton Roads. All of this area, you still need to be on guard. So areas watching Roanoke and west, look at those temperatures, lower 50s. That's some pretty stable air. There'll still be some robust showers in the area. Areas to the east, still very unstable air. Temperatures still in the 60s, but we still have a lot of spin going on. And these storms are going to try their darndest to spin into tornadoes if they can in an environment like this. And you can see down through Rockingham and Caswell counties where we've got more strong to severe thunderstorms going on. But what I really wanted to show you here was on our SPC site, the different parameters that we can look at in real time. You could do that. You can go to SPC right now if you're not in a tornado warning, and you can look at the effective wind shear. So where's our wind shear the greatest? And it is still very high across the area I just highlighted. Notice I put it pretty much over the Roanoke Valley area. So if we look and draw another line through, sorry TikTokers, move you around too. From here and west, you're okay. This is the area, and that was a horrible line. This whole area here still needs to be on guard because there's 50 to 55 knots of wind shear. Basically, that's saying the air is turning. Supercell composite. You're seeing some red shading. That's where if a storm were to develop, it has to overcome the cool air at the surface. More than likely it will in an environment like this. We've got supercell composites up around 2 to 4. That's significant. We put that in motion, and for our viewers that are watching along from Richmond to Hopewell to Williamsburg down to Hampton Roads, you're going to see by around 9, well, it's already 9:40 now, 11 o'clock to midnight to 1 a.m., you're going to be under the gun through about, 3 a.m. tonight. That's 3 a.m. So that potential for spin will be moving east, but it will not dissipate. It will include most of Virginia south of I-64. Tornadic stretching, where the potential is for a storm to stretch a column of air and get it spinning again, remains very high for our area and very, very high in North Carolina. These are different parameters, but once you get up into the red shading here, it says tilting of the wind that is coming into the storm. If you tilt that to an updraft, you get a tornado, and when conditions are right. So you can see how it's elevated over the areas now. It's elevated over Lynchburg. It's elevated over a good part of Halifax County where the tornado warning's in effect, and it's elevated there across South Central Virginia as well. And our energy helicity index is going to follow very closely that line that occurs south of Rocky Mount, south of 40, down through North Carolina. And notice it's picking back up again in eastern Virginia. So the Storm Prediction Center is going to probably have to do something about you folks in Virginia Beach here by the time this is said and done, because I feel as the night goes on, we're going to have a little bit more in the way of bad weather moving in. If you look at the significant tornado parameter, you can see it's up around 1 using one of the composites. If you look at a fixed layer, it's up at about half. If you look at an effective layer, it's up at around half to 1. Sometimes these values are just all relative. They've certainly been higher, but we've got a lot of rain-cooled air in and around some of these storms. So really, the way I'm looking at this, that's just instability. So our capes have gone down to 500 to 1,000. That's the good news. Really what we're looking at is for areas that haven't been disturbed yet by the rain earlier. Those are the areas that have the best chance of seeing a tornado tonight. So areas that haven't cooled off yet, they haven't had the pouring down rain, it's still kind of undisturbed air, if you will. Those are the areas that we're concerned about. Tornado warning is exiting Halifax County now, entering Chase City and north of Virgilina. And again, that continues to be something we're watching there just south of Chase City. Continues until 10 p.m. So for another 17 minutes, we want to watch for the possibility of that tornado. And I need to put a marker down because I see something I don't like. Put a marker here, and we'll go to correlation coefficient. That's either a third body scatter strike, or that could be debris. I think it could be a little bit of both. That could be hail, debris, and or false echoes showing up. But needless to say, it's a tornado warning, so you should be very much on guard. Other severe thunderstorm warnings do continue across the area. We now have a flash flood warning in effect for Stanton and Augusta County. Between 2 and 3 inches of rain's fallen. 2 to 3 inches of rain with another inch or so possible. You should get to higher ground now in Stanton and Augusta County from all that heavy rainfall. Still some strong storms moving into Charlottesville. And again, watching the possibility of something trying to get going here in terms of rotation. In the south side. None of these are really sticking out like crazy, although I do see a little bit of a couplet here north and west of Blair's. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that area. That still includes Gretna and Chatham, Volans as well. Northeast of Blair's, we're still watching 2 little notches of rotation that could produce something here. And now going into Mecklenburg County, we have that tornado warning in effect that's about to be dropped for Halifax County, more than likely, and could be extended more into Mecklenburg County. New special weather statement now covers areas ahead of this severe thunderstorm warning in Charlotte Courthouse as well. I'm going to sign off for right now on the live stream. I will be posting information throughout the night on my Facebook and Twitter pages, and I will go live again if another tornado warning is issued for a heavily populated area. Okay, so take everything very seriously. I'm going to hop off real quick. I'll hop back on if I need to. In the meantime, monitor my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook feeds for the very latest.